Hey everybody, what is up? Nate McAllister from Evergreen Affiliate Marketing. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take content from one WordPress site and import it very quickly into another site. This can be extremely useful, but if you aren't careful, you could end up wrecking the traffic to both the original site and the new site. So you need to pay close attention. This is very important. So let's say, for example, that you own two properties and you have an old domain and it's not getting a lot of traffic, but you know you have a lot of good content there. You recently purchased another domain and you want to transfer everything over there. Now, I do recommend sticking with the original domains that you purchased. If you want to switch, go for it. And there's also a million other case uses where you might want to import or export content. Like if you bought somebody else's blog that had already been created and had a lot of posts and you wanted to add yours to it, awesome. Now, there are a lot of little nuances that can go into this. So there is a ton of potential and possibility, and I can't show you absolutely every single thing. So be sure to ask me down in the comments and I will reply to at least the first 10. For me, I use Thrive themes. So there's going to be different things over here in the tools setting when I'm choosing what to export. It's going to look a little bit different than what you choose. So let's get started. First, I'm going to show you the two websites that I have. When I wrote my book, Evergreen Affiliate Marketing, I created a landing page for it. And I really decided that my main site, entreresource.com, had a lot of good affiliate marketing related content, but I felt like it would be a better fit and I could get it in front of more people if I moved it over to the Evergreen Affiliate Marketing blog. What I'm doing is I'm going to do a canonical URL reference to everything that I put on here, which means I'm not going to get dinged by search engines for having duplicate content. Do not duplicate content without using these canonical URLs. There's multiple ways to do it, but I'm going to show you how to do it using the free Yoast SEO plugin. So I've already done this for a lot of my posts. So for the demo, I'm going to do a kind of shortened, abridged version of it. So these are all posts that I actually wrote on EntreResource, and I was able to upload all of them into the Evergreen Affiliate Marketing blog. Granted, the design here is still a work in progress. It's going to improve in some of the things that I transferred over. The formatting is not going to be exactly right because I didn't transfer over the templates, but you'll be shocked at how decent it actually looks. So here, let's open up this one. How to use Ahrefs for massive organic traffic gains. This is what it looks like on Evergreen Affiliate Marketing. There's just a couple of little things like this is too big. I don't like having that space. But to the naked eye, it's not bad. This content here isn't for ranking in search engines so much. I'm doing that on EntreResource. This is mostly for people like you who are on my YouTube channel and you want to come to see my content more directly. So I want you guys to land on the Evergreen Affiliate Marketing page because that's also where I sell you my book, which is available now on Audible, Kindle, and print. Go grab a copy. And that's also where I have, things like my free downloads and my recommended tools and resources that are all related to affiliate marketing. So EntreResource, those pages are still going to be up. Let's go ahead and let's get started here. What we need to do, there's no plugin that we need to add. This comes by default with WordPress. It's called import and export, and it'll show up over here in tools. It should for you. I've never seen it anywhere else. Sometimes people mess with where things appear on the sidebar, so it might be down in settings if it's not in tools, but it should be in tools, assuming that you're logged in as the admin. So make sure that you're logged in with full privileges to see everything. Sometimes people don't see that. It's usually because they don't have the full access. For me, I have like multiple users, and sometimes I log in as a test user and I'm like, where the heck are all my plugins? That's where they are. It's because they're blocked. Let's come in here and let's do export. So obviously we're going to export from the site that has the content on it already, and we're going to get a file that we can import into the new website. I already exported everything that was in the category of affiliate marketing, but now I want to export things just for this test. I'm going to export things that are related to blogging. Authors, I kind of want to trim this up even more. So let's go ahead and let's do Nate McAllister. Start date, July 21st to October. And then status, I only want things that are published. And as you see over here on choosing what to export, we have so many different options. I'm going to do download export file. So now we come into the same area on the second website, and we're going to come to import. And now we're going to come to WordPress. So we're going to need to come to run importer. Now we are going to be given the option to choose that file. I don't know if you can drag and drop, but just to be safe, I'm just going to click upload file and import. I'm going to import that author. So that was me. Or I could assign them to a new, or to the main author on this other site, which I'm going to be editing anyway. So for now, I'm just going to use that. And then I'm going to put download and import file attachments. That's important. That's going to be your images and all that stuff. So as long as you want to keep those, do that. I'm going to click submit. Give it a second. It is really shocking to me how quickly this actually works. So don't panic. You're going to see a lot of stuff that says failed, 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 failed. They are pretty negative when it comes to that, but that's correct. What we're going to do now is we're going to come into posts, and hopefully we're going to see some new categories. So like right here, blogging. Also, guys, I should have said this before we started. Make sure you have a good recent backup of both sites before you go forward, just so that you can go back if you make any mistakes. But this URL right here, lean domain search, that one I'm sure is unique. So let's go ahead and we'll click on first edit. And depending on what you're using for your page editor, this might look different. So this is everything that we're doing here. Like I said, we want to make sure that we have a canonical URL set up. So that's going to be down here at the bottom. That's very important because if we have duplicate content on Google, it could end up really hurting us. So for this example, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to find the lean domain search. So this is actually that article, and this is going to be the canonical URL. The canonical URL is the URL of the original post. So the one that was published first, we want to keep that. So this is what it looks like over there. One thing that's not going to come over, shouldn't come over, is this marketing worksheet. Also, I need to make that smaller. That's like way too big as I'm seeing it here now. Anyway, so these images will come over. This lasso plugin probably won't come. It shouldn't come over. I'd be shocked if it did. So before I forget, let's just go ahead and put in that canonical URL. And I'll update that because these all came over as published. So we have to be quick with this. I could have turned all of those off, but just for this demo, I'm going to keep them on. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to go to view. Okay. So here is how it looked before. And here's how it looks now. And if I want, I can edit I have it very bare bones on this because I don't want to spend a bunch of time editing the content that I've already written. So I created just a very basic template and I'm letting it just publish as it appears. Okay. So things like the font, these fonts are going to change to what my existing fonts were. As you can see, they're slightly different. So I'm using Thrive themes. Again, like I said, if you're using a different theme, this could look different, but the import export of the content should work just as well. Like we had mentioned, the lasso code isn't going to come over and the Thrive leads part isn't going to come over. And I'm actually fine with that because I want to add my own custom leads to that. And I'm actually going to not transfer over the lasso. Lasso is this, it's this plugin. And if you noticed when we did the original transfer, you could actually see that it does allow you to transfer anything that you put on the site. So one of those things is lasso code. So if I came in here to export, I can export all of my Thrive themes templates. I could export the Thrive leads, the short codes, the forms, the light boxes. I could do like right here, lasso, and I could do my schemas. I might actually do the schemas or I might just make my own. I don't know yet. But as you see, there's a lot of options here, but this is the fastest, best way to transfer content. Just again, to be safe, be careful. Use canonical URLs for the second site and make sure that you're putting that into the link from the first site. So basically, the new site gets a canonical URL that is the URL from the first site. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does, because you want Google to know this is not duplicate content. Also, if you don't want to cannibalize yourself on search engines, you'll want to come into on the edit page part. And again, you do need to install Yoast SEO or another plugin. You can use another plugin that does this. Just find something that allows for canonical URLs. And for here, our search engines going to allow this in search results. If you don't want them to, like if you're worried about them cannibalizing rankings for the other pages, just select no. Should search engines follow links in this post, you can put no. So go ahead and update that. And that's the whole process, guys and girls. You just have to follow the steps that I outlined here. Import, export. Be sure to create backups before you do this, just in case anything goes wrong. And also double check, go through all the new content. Don't just import 100 posts and then assume they're all good. You might want to have a VA or somebody go through all of them, or do it in smaller batches. Like when I came into posts, I did the categories from blogging, but then I also, if you noticed, I put the start date and end date. So it was just a couple of months. So it wasn't like a million posts at one time. And you can do this between any sites that you own. Obviously, you have to own the sites. You can't just take it from somebody else or put it into somebody else's site without them doing it manually with this XML file. All right, I hope that that was helpful. Again, if you guys have any specific questions, which I'm sure you're going to, because this is, look at this list. There's so many different things that you can export, and there's so many different templates and themes that it's going to be some unique things. Different plugins are going to maybe play with this in a weird way. So be careful and have fun, and let me know down in the comments if it works out for you or if you have any questions. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you found this valuable.